If you're interested in a job with a nonprofit organization, it's important to prepare thoughtfully for the job interview. So in this video, I want to share an updated list of job interview questions that I would ask as a nonprofit executive director or hiring manager, especially in today's ever-evolving employment landscape. Welcome back. My name is Amber Melanie Smith, and I'm a nonprofit founder and executive director, and I make these videos here on YouTube for people who want to make a difference, and they can do that through nonprofits or social enterprise or other ways to create social impact. As always, I hope that you find this video useful and helpful. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I also have a website if you are starting a nonprofit or developing a sustainable fundraising plan for a nonprofit. At foundertofulltime.com, you can find some online trainings to help you with both of those things. So I hope that you check those out and that they are helpful to you. All right, so let's get into this today. As a nonprofit executive director, I have done my fair share of hiring people, and I did a video on this topic, job interview questions for nonprofits and how to prepare, a couple of years ago, but that was before the COVID-19 pandemic, and in my opinion, things look a lot different now, from, changing workplace cultures and emphasis on employee well-being and the Great Resignation and all of those things that have really changed what working for any organization, nonprofit or otherwise, but especially nonprofits, these things have changed in the past couple of years. So I wanted to do an update video that reflects the changes. I went back and I looked at some of the job interview questions that I described in my earlier video, and I definitely thought to myself, I would do things a little bit differently now than I did before. So that's what this is all about, and let's get into it. A couple of comments before I get into my list of job interview questions for nonprofits, and there are 7 of those questions. I just want to offer a couple of additional comments on this. And the first is that, over the course of my years of hiring and onboarding and training new people, one thing I really have wanted to do differently in my job interview process now than before is try to get to know what's at the core of a person as much as possible in the short time we have together during a job interview. I'm very interested in a person's values and what motivates them, what makes them tick, what they're passionate about, what makes them angry in the world. That's actually a job interview question that I've used before with the help of a great team who helped put some of these questions together. But I think, in today's world, we're really talking about an alignment of values between people who want to work for an organization and the organization itself. And once those values align, a lot of other things can fall in place. So that's comment number 1. Comment number 2, kind of going along with that, is while prior experience in the nonprofit world certainly helps, and a degree in nonprofit management can definitely help. For me, at least, not having those things wouldn't disqualify you from working for the organization that I run. I look for 2 things. I look for knowledge of my cause, so my mission with the nonprofit. Did you do your homework? Do you understand what we're trying to achieve as an organization, and how do you see yourself kind of in that work? And secondly, your passion for helping. Obviously, that's critical for all nonprofits. For mine especially, it's all about how can we be of the best service possible to our community. So if you have those 2 things, but you don't have the degree in nonprofit management, or you don't have a lot of nonprofit experience before interviewing for my role, it's not a disqualifier. So just be encouraged by that if you're someone starting out in your job hunting for nonprofits. Okay, let's get into the 7 updated nonprofit job interview questions that I want to talk to you about today. The first question, and this is a really important one, is What questions do you, the candidate, have about the role, from anything including salary and benefits to what your duties will be, etc. I want to know about your understanding of the position. There are a couple of reasons for this. One is, if we were to hire you, I would want to know that your expectations of what you signed up for are the same as our expectations of what we need you to do, because when those expectations are aligned, everyone is a lot happier. But secondly, because over the past couple of years of the pandemic and the Great Resignation and all of that, there's been an increased emphasis on transparency in the hiring process. And as someone who hires people, this is important to me as well, because I want you to know what you signed up for. And like anything else, like any other kind of relationship, a job is a type of social contract, right? You are saying, I will do X in exchange for Y, and same on our side, right? So we want to make sure that everyone is completely clear on what they're going to receive and what they're going to be expected to do to prevent dissatisfaction later down the road. So that's a really important question. And if you don't, as a job candidate, have questions for me about the role or anything about it, I might feel a little concerned. I won't have a sense of if you thoroughly read the job description, if you know what you're signing up for. And so it's always a good idea to, come up with a couple of things you can ask about the position, even if you feel like you're clear on everything. Question number 2 that I've grown accustomed to asking in job interviews is, describe a time you did blank and your process for approaching how you did blank. And in the blank, you're putting something that is an integral part of the job duties, right? So if you're hiring a bookkeeper, something related to accounting. If you're hiring a fundraiser, something related to fundraising, etc. And the goal for me here is to understand, one, not just that you know how to do it. So it's a little bit of a test of your knowledge here on how to do the thing that is a very critical part of the job that you're interviewing for. But I also want to understand how your brain works a little bit. Understanding your approach to how you start and complete a task, whether it's through some people like to make lists, some people like to study how other people did it before them. Whatever your approach is will tell me a lot about who you are and how you might work best with other people on our team. So, for example, if you are hiring for an event planning position, I might ask, describe a time when you planned an event and what was your approach to getting started planning the event, stuff like that. For question number 3, we're getting into a little bit more about your personal interests and your values, etc. And the question here is, what does our mission as a nonprofit mean to you personally? For me, I want to know that the people working in my organization genuinely care about the cause. If they care about the cause, I feel like they're going to be able to find a great sense of fulfillment in the work that we're doing as a team. So I would be looking for a personal story here, maybe a short anecdote about something related to the cause. So it could be, let's say you're applying for a job with an organization that is raising money to find a cure for cancer. Maybe you have a personal connection to cancer somehow. Maybe someone you know had it, or someone in your family, or let's say it's an animal rescue organization, and you have a pet that you received from an animal rescue organization. These connections to the cause or what it means to your values, whether those values are achieving justice in the world or preserving the planet, etc. I want to know how you are personally connected to our mission and how you view that connection. Question number 4 is, our goals in the next couple of years include blank and blank. How do you see yourself in this position or with the organization helping us achieve these goals? Now, there's a lot of different things I'm trying to achieve with this particular question. The first is I want to get a sense of how they see themselves using their particular skill sets or talents or competencies to further the organization's mission. But another goal here is to see if they might be able to visualize themselves in the organization in the future. Hopefully you're hiring someone who will want to stick around for a while and grow with the organization, possibly, move up into leadership positions as they become available. And so seeing whether or not they can describe a potential scenario in which they could see themselves in the future with the organization will give you a sense of that. Number 5 is a great question for helping understand whether a candidate might be a good fit with your team, and that is describe your ideal workplace culture and what makes it your ideal. With the increasing emphasis on workplace culture over the past couple of years, there's been a lot of curiosity around what people serving on a team want. And I find that the easiest way to find out is to just ask them. Plus, it challenges them to think about what they're looking for in a workplace culture. I've heard a lot of great answers to this question, and it really helps, I think, give me a sense of whether I can visualize that candidate on the team and getting along with the other team members who presumably in your organization have already bought into whatever the workplace culture is, and hopefully it's a healthy one, whether they would be a good fit working alongside those other team members too. Question number 6 is, what are your long-term goals for growth, and where do you see yourself in 5 years or some number of years? I like this question because there's almost a sort of unspoken mutual respect in this question. It demonstrates to the candidate that you care about what they want for their own future. And if they sense that, then hopefully they will be excited to work for you even more. But understanding where they see themselves and where they want to go can help you as a manager, make sure that if you hire this candidate, you're going to help them grow in that direction. You're going to be able to provide the appropriate professional development opportunities, the right coaching, the right opportunities, the right access to mentors, etc. So it's something that demonstrates your commitment to the candidate in their growth, and in exchange helps you understand how you can help them fulfill their potential in your organization as well. Question number 7, and the final question I'll share with you today, gets at the heart of what I was saying before, and it is this. What are your top values as a person, and how do you see yourself applying them to this work and the organization? I think it's really great to see a candidate who has reflected on themselves and who kind of knows who they are and what their values in the world and how they carry themselves in the world might be. If you are someone looking for a nonprofit job and you are not clear on what your values are to be able to articulate them, there's some great exercises online where you can see various lists of values and think about what matches you, and like online quizzes and stuff like that. So I encourage you to check those out and really get clear on what your values are in the event this question comes up, but also just to be able to live your life in alignment with those values well. But as I was saying before, it's really critical to have values alignment between a job candidate and the job/organization they would be working for. So by asking this question, you're able to see how they view their values aligning with the organization. Or if you are the candidate, how you can see your own values aligning with the work of the organization. I'd love to hear from you. If you are someone who is applying for or thinking about applying for a nonprofit job, what do you think? Do you feel like you'd be able to answer these questions well? Or if you are a hiring manager in a nonprofit, what did you think of these questions? Are there others that you've asked that you felt worked well for you? Share them in the comments below, and let's build our knowledge base of interview questions for the world. As I mentioned before, if you're starting a nonprofit or developing a fundraising plan, I have a website, foundertofulltime.com, where I have some online trainings. I also have a newsletter that I send out with resources, news, information, funding opportunities, etc., to people in the nonprofit and social impact space. You can subscribe to it with the link that I have in the description below this video and unsubscribe anytime you want. And finally, I have a group on Facebook called Change the World or Bust. A couple thousand people in there from around the world at this point. Come on by, come join us. It's a great community, and it's just full of people who want to make a difference like you. So I hope that you found this video helpful. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Once again, I'm Amber Melanie Smith, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.